Greetings, flat earthers. I just wanted to make a video kind of touching base on a larger topic in the flat earth YouTube community right now. It seems some infighting and some opinions being spouted about. Um, I've heard different people say different things in regards to this subject. I just seen a video where a guy's saying that he ain't picking a side. He's cool with everybody. Let's just keep the peace. We don't need to be arguing. And normally I would agree with him there. But I'm gonna have to agree with Dan Pratt. I don't think it's good that we're all fighting and whatnot, and we probably shouldn't be, you know, calling each other, shills and CIA. But at the same time, this is serious. Like, that's why I love the flat Earth, is because unlike any other truther, conspiracy, if you will, there's always a feeling of hopelessness and fear. And I found that refreshing with the flat Earth, that I didn't have that feeling. It was a feeling of happiness. It was a feeling of understanding. It was all those conspiracies, if you will, that I knew about. I feel like the flat Earth kind of really clarified all that. I mean, half of it got wiped out just from one truth. And I guess what I'm getting at is nothing changed. Before I found the flat Earth, I was concerned about, the Illuminati, New World Order, people saying those don't exist. Bullshit, Omni-Eris. You're full of shit. They absolutely do exist. I mean, I was worried about 9/11. I was worried about the 2+ million people in the Middle East that we've killed over the last decade or so. The refugee crisis, the banking crisis, food crisis. I mean, you name it. There's so much bad going on, and it's really ramped up. And for these fucking idiots, to sit out, these so-called flat earthers, to sit around on their radio shows and act like a bunch of hippies, and act like just everything's all fine. Let's just have some flat earth conversations on a daily basis. They're not really worried about anything. They're just fine gossiping. I get it. The subject matter is flat earth. It's truth. But these fucking people might as well be talking about, making a goddamn grocery list. Everything's all fine. There's no urgency. There's no anger. There's nothing. It's emotionless, except for happy. Well, let me tell you people something. You remember the hippie movement in the 60s? You remember hearing about that, right? Well, that got infiltrated. And it went nowhere after having a lot of steam initially. And the reason it went nowhere is because the system and government got involved. Order out of chaos. And what they did was perverted the movement. They inserted drugs, acid, psychedelics, whatever, drugs in general. They really started pushing rock music, hardcore even more so then. And the point is, they got them with the whole hippie movement, what we know as the hippie movement, which is peace and love. Let's go out there and protest, tell them we're pissed off and something will change from that. Well, let me tell you something, people. Nothing has ever changed through peace and love. Peace and love is great. I think that's, there's no reason for fighting in most cases, but The abuser, the bully, these types of people, i.e., the government, that's what they are, abusers, murderers, liars, cheaters, okay? The abusers, they're never going to stop abusing the victims because they're asked nicely. It's never happened. The wife that gets beat daily, she pleads with her husband, I'm sure, every time. Please, no, stop. Ow, no, I'm sorry. Never happen again. Okay, that's horrible. But the victim pleads with the abuser peacefully, in other words, with words, and they get nothing in return. You know, the dog that's being abused, it can yelp and whine all he wants to the abuser. The abuser doesn't care. So my point is, people, that until you get backed into a corner, us, the abused, the victim, until we're the dog or that woman, and that dog finally bites that asshole abusing him, or that woman strikes back, maybe she stabs him, maybe she kills him, I don't know. But the point is, until they physically resist back with violence, meet violence with violence, God forbid, but that's the only way to stop an abuser. So I'm not a advocate of just outright violence or a violent revolution. I'm not a fan of that. That's not what I want. But I'm not naive. I'm realistic. Just like Dan Pratt. I've came from the dirty corner of life, you know what I mean? Came from the rough side. And it shaped who I am. And you got to meet force with force. You know, if you're a victim, if you're being abused, the only way to stop being abused is to meet force with force. You know, I'll give you an example. Kid goes to school, first day of school, maybe he's in 5th grade. And there's a bully at school, and he's taking kids' lunch money. And we'll call this little boy Tom. Tom's one of those kids that gets much lunch money took from this bully. Now, as long as Tom is scared and just hands over his lunch money willingly without resistance to the bully, that bully will never have any reason or incentive to stop taking Tom's lunch money, or anybody else for that matter. But the moment Tom stands up to the bully, more than likely physically, because if you stand up verbally, the bully's probably going to take it to the physical level. But when you take it there physically with the bully, then and only then is it possible for you to free yourself of, you know, your servitude to him. So that's just my thoughts on it. I mean, there's no way around it. You know, you cannot stop somebody from oppressing you, bullying you, hurting you, turning you into a victim with peace and love and words. It's just not going to happen. That's not the real world, people. So I'm with Dan Pratt, you know. I just, this isn't everybody. There's lots of people making videos, great videos all the time, but you got this other faction of the Flat Earth community on YouTube that, you know, it just seems to me that they're pacifists, you know. Like Dan said, peace, love, it's going to save everything. Well, it's not going to save nothing. You guys are contributing nothing to the Flat Earth cause. Getting together and talking about it. You know? I mean, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. But you guys are considered leaders in the amusement. Look at how many subscribers you got. You got daily regular show about it. You have multiple guests that also have lots of subscribers. Reason I bring up subscribers is because you have the ability to reach people, in a good way. And then people come to your station and you guys are just talking about, you're talking about flat earth, but you're not really talking about any of these issues that exist outside of flat earth. For most of us, these issues that existed prior to our knowledge of the flat earth, that hasn't changed. The difference with flat earth is just that, like Eric DeBay likes to say, it's probably the biggest conspiracy that any of us has heard of, that out of ones that are true. And it's probably also the easiest to prove. So we need to be using that, we need to come together as a community and stop fighting. I agree with that guy. I'm not sure, I don't remember his name, but I watched this video and he said, they started off by trying to attack the model and it didn't work. And now they're trying to divide and conquer, get us fighting amongst ourselves. And I think that's true to a degree. But I'll reiterate this. There is shills. And what I mean by a true shill is knowingly a shill. They know that they're misleading, disinforming, or making outlandish claims. And they understand that that will turn people off, especially new people, mainly new people, to the flat earth movement. And who do these new people see initially, video-wise, when they come into the flat earth? Well, probably these people with large subscribers and big audiences and big budgets. Okay? So they go to those people first. And that's not always good, as we can see. So it's bad out there, man. The world economy could crash any time. World War III could break out at any time. Millions dead. Millions more displaced all over the world and hungry. Our government, in cahoots with the Jesuits and all the other big players of the world stage, they orchestrated this whole refugee crisis. I seen the writing on the wall before it even happened. So I'm thinking they're going to use this as their big one. Everybody knows there's a refugee crisis and extreme Muslim terrorists. They're all over now. Fear, 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 fear. Anyhow, I just wanted to say, let's, we gotta try to stay together as a community. I know those ones that aren't willing to bend or just seems like they're not bringing a whole lot to the table with their lots and lots of subscriptions. We don't need them anyways. Let's, the rest of us, get together. Let's create some kind of community. I know Eric Dubay's got IFERS. I'd like to create something similar to that on YouTube, where we can get together and just, come up with experiment ideas and network amongst each other. And I know we're doing that on YouTube with the videos and comments and stuff, but I just feel like we can be more of a community. I feel like, mostly it's just all of us individually making videos, and yes, we communicate amongst each other, but I would say at least half of that, if not more, is negative, communicating and making videos to other people in the flat earth. So let's not lose sight. We're all flat earthers. For the ones that are going about it the right way, understand, there's urgency involved. The ones that understand all these serious issues prior to learning about the flat earth are still very real. So that's just my 2 cents. So like, subscribe, share, if you will. Appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good day. Peace.